Hey guys, so today's video is going to be another story time video. Obviously by the title you guys know that this is a stalker related title. I haven't came up with a specific title yet just because I'm choosing between a couple, but guys, this story is about my stalker. Now I've had this stalker for almost 4 years. It's going to be 4 years around like November, and this has been an ongoing situation and it is still kind of occurring right now. I'm still dealing with it. So I'm making this video just in case anyone is going through a similar situation and they don't know if they should speak up about it or who they should talk to. And then I'm also making this video for advice for myself, to get feedback from some of you guys if you've been through it and you've taken action or you've done something to make it stop or whatever the case may be. I'm here to help you guys, and I hope that you guys are here to help me as well. Now this isn't a sad story at all. I think it's kind of funny. It's crazy to me. Like I said, I'm still dealing with it. There's an incident that occurred literally 2 days ago, so I'm definitely still dealing with this, but I'm putting myself at risk to help some of you guys, so I hope you can appreciate that in this video. So this stalker first appeared on the scene about 4 years ago. I was a junior in high school, and I mean, I had no worries in the world, no cares. I had a boyfriend at the time, so I really wasn't interested in any guys. And I'm saying this because this is a very vital piece of information for this video. So around November, December-ish, it was getting cold outside of my junior year of high school. My mother was experiencing some issues with her foot. I think she had plantar fasciitis or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but it's something that sounds like that. And it was just causing her a lot of pain. So I went back and forth with her to the doctor. They put her in a boot, gave her some crutches. But when it was time for her to transition out of that boot, she had to go get some shoe inserts. So of course I went with her. I went with her for everything. And we went to the store to go get some shoe inserts. So we're at this store. I'm not gonna say the name of the store. I mean, it's a very common store, but just for privacy reasons, I was at a store with my mom picking up shoe inserts, and I was on the aisle with her looking through like the Dr. Scholl's brand ones. And so as I'm like looking through them, because they come in different sizes and they have different functionalities and everything, and I'm kind of looking through them to find what she wants and to also like help, like maybe like try this mom or try this mom. So as I'm like browsing through the shoe inserts, I see about 3 or 4 pairs of eyes peering back at me like through the shelf. So I'm kind of like, are these people watching me look for shoe inserts? Like, I thought it was really weird, but I just thought it was funny. I was just like, this is crazy, like what's going on? And I was like, I kind of like nudged my mom so she would look, and she started laughing too, because of course she saw the multiple pairs of eyes like watching us looking at shoe inserts. So my mom picks up the kind that she wants, so she finds the kind that the doctor recommends or whatever, and we're preparing to walk off the aisle. So when you walk off an aisle, you know that you come into like a main walkway that leads you down to the rest of the aisle. So we're at that point. We're off the aisle in the main walkway of the store, and the person, well, the multiple people that were peering at us through the shoe inserts come off their aisle as well, and they kind of meet us head on. It's a group of 4 guys. They look around my age. At the time I was 17 at the time, so they looked anywhere from 16 to maybe 19 or 20. They all look different, but they all look like they could be in the same friend group. The guys just kind of stared at me, and me and my mom were like, excuse me. So we kind of like tried to, you know, walk past them, and I guess the ringleader of the group was like, hey. And usually I don't respond to things like that when guys are like, hey, psst, psst. Like, I feel like that's rude, but I just kind of look back like, yeah, what you want? He's like, can I get your number? And I was like, sorry, I have a boyfriend. And I just kept walking. Like, I caught back up with my mom. We go get in line to check out, and the lines are like super duper long. So while we're waiting in line, my mom is like, okay, let me think of what else you can go run and get while I'm standing in line that we don't have at the house. You guys are probably familiar if you go shopping with your mom, like when you're standing in line, she's like, oh, go run and get this, or oh, go put this back. So she was like, I think you guys need some pizza rolls. Go get the pepperoni or combination kind, because those are the kinds that me and my brother like. So I was like, okay. Didn't think anything of it. Walked to the freaking pizza roll aisle. So I opened up the little refrigerator, grabbed out the package of pizza rolls. As I closed the door, there's someone standing on the back side of the door. I'm just like, okay, same dude, like the ringleader of the group of 4 guys, but this time he's by himself. He was like, so you got a boyfriend, you're not gonna give me your number? I was like, no. He said, well, I'm gonna give you mine. So I'm just like, okay, this guy's not taking no for an answer. So he pulls out a piece of notebook paper out of his pocket, and the notebook paper looks like this, guys. It's like so crumpled up and it's just really flimsy. Like, it doesn't even make noise anymore. Like, it's so old, like he's been carrying it around forever. And I look at it and I can tell that he's been carrying it around forever, because he wrote in pencil, but the pencil was really smeared and it was very visible. Like, it had been wiped away, kind of, just from being in his pocket for so long. So I just take it and I was like, okay. I just throw it in my purse, get back to my mom, and I want to tell her what just happened, because I think it's so funny. I'm just like, this guy is crazy, da, 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 da. But of course I have respect for him, or I had respect for him in that moment. Like, him or his friends could be around in the store, they could see me. I don't want to be talking about him and laughing. Like, that's not cool. So I kind of just, you know, held my composure, put the pizza rolls in the basket, and just stood there, checked out with my mom, and we walked out of the store. So as we're in the parking lot, I'm like, I pulled the number out of my purse, just looked at it, and I was just like, okay, balled it up and just threw it somewhere. I don't know if I threw it in a trash can, a recycle bin, on the ground, wherever it went, somewhere. I didn't have it anymore. So I went home, told my mom about it. We thought it was crazy. We just thought it was funny. Like, this guy, he really wants to talk to you. Like, you know, he really wants to talk to you. So, I mean, we didn't think anything of it. So a few weeks passed by, and I don't know what I was doing. I don't know if I was sitting in my room, sitting on the couch. I don't know where I was, but I know that my phone started blowing up with notifications on Instagram. And I was really confused, because when a notification comes through, it'll tell you the username of the person who either liked your photo or commented on your photo or whatever. So back then, Instagram wasn't as like updated and fancy as it is now, but it still did that. So I'm like, who is username something something something? And I read it before I even swiped to check the notifications to see who had blown it up, and the name of this person was the same guy who had given me his number. And I knew this immediately, because his nickname was something that was very distinct, and he had written it on that piece of paper with his number that I had balled up and tossed somewhere. It was literally the same username with a few like extra numbers or underscores or whatever with it. Y'all, my stomach dropped. I was like, how did this person find me on Instagram? So before I even opened it up, because you know your mind works a lot faster than your actual body or actions do, so I'm having all these thoughts like, okay, how did this guy find me? I know the city that I live in is pretty, it's not small, but it's one of those places where it's a lot of people, but everyone still knows everyone. Everyone's is someone's cousin. Everyone is someone's baby mama. Everyone is somebody's like sister or brother. Like, everyone knows everyone, whether you're low key or not. I consider myself to be super low key, yet people still know me, partially because of YouTube, but also because the city we live in, it's just people know people. So I'm thinking, like, I'm trying to think back, like, does this guy know me from elementary school and I just don't remember him? Did one of his 3 friends that was with him at the store look familiar to me? I'm trying to think back, like, to who they were, to see if I could recognize one of them from the past. Like, I just didn't know. I didn't understand. I was just really confused. So of course I just go ahead and open up the Instagram app, click on his username to see his page. It is definitely the same guy. In his profile, it does say he lives in the city I live in. He goes to a high school that is not my high school, but it is like very, very close to where I live, and pretty much in the vicinity of my own high school. And it was just things about him, like age, that was all very close to me. With the same age. That was also on his bio. So I was just really creeped out, like, okay, how did this guy find me? I see that we do have some mutual followers, but at the same time, like, this is just too coincidental. So I went back and started going back through the notifications and seeing exactly what he had commented. And he was commenting things like, hey, you remember me? I know you from the store. I gave you my number. You never called me. All this crazy stuff. So I go through, block the guy, which I think in turn made his comments disappear. I'm not sure. I can't remember how Instagram used to work. But me blocking him, I mean, it didn't stop anything, guys. So like another week passed. He popped back up with a new profile, and my Instagram profile wasn't private at the time. It was public, so anyone could have followed me. So of course, with him making a new profile, he was able to follow me, and I knew he followed me because I got the notification that he followed me with a very similar username to what he had before. And he did the same thing by blowing up my feed with liking all my pictures and pretty much commenting on all my pictures, even the ones I had up of my boyfriend at the time. So I just felt it was like very crazy, very disrespectful. I'm like, yo, what is wrong with this guy? Like, still it's not clicking to me that this could be a serious situation. I just think it's like, whoa, ha ha ha, this is like crazy. Like, what is he doing? I'm laughing it off, not thinking it could be anything serious. So I click on the guy's profile for the second time. This is his second account, by the way. And this time, y'all, in his bio, it says, IG wife, King Cat. King Cat used to be my old Instagram username. It's still my Snapchat username. For those of you that follow me on Snapchat, you know this. But they used to be my old Instagram username. So he had in his bio, IG wife, King Cat. Scroll down, look through his pictures. He has 4 pictures of me up with different captions under them, like, look at my baby, she's so beautiful, I found the perfect one for me, lovey-dovey stuff, things like that. It didn't make sense to me. I was like super confused, super thrown off. First of all, I was stuck. I said, who gave you permission to put me as your Instagram wife? Like, I've been people's Instagram wives before, and I've had Instagram hubbies, and I definitely thought that you had to like have a mutual agreement with the person before you could just go put them in your bio as your Instagram wife. Like, why are you false claiming, bro? Like, why are you false claiming? I'm just like, okay, this is crazy. What's going on? What to do? Once again, the only thing I know to do is to block the guy. I'm not sure at this point if I told my parents about it, but once again, I'm a junior in high school. I have no worries in the world. I don't think anything can happen to me. I think I'm untouchable. I don't really care. A few more weeks passed, and he's pretty much lying dormant. I still have him blocked, but his profile still exists. So he still has pictures up of me. He still has me as his Instagram wife or whatever, but he's not bothering me. So, you know, I think everything is okay, and time just, you know, passes. So a few months passes, and I still hear nothing. And at this point, it's around like March or April, around prom season. It just really stuck out to me because I guess everything was going so well for me at that time, and then for the guy to kind of just come back into my life, like, it kind of threw my like good vibes off in a sense. So one day I get a phone call from a random number, and you know, I'm not a person who answers random numbers. Till this day, I do not like to answer numbers that I do not know. If you've ever called me, like if I ever give you my number personally and you call me and I don't have your number saved previously, or you never gave me your number, more than likely I'm not going to answer. Not because I don't like you, not because I don't want to talk, but I don't have your number saved, and I don't like answering numbers I don't know. Because when I was in high school, around that same year of 11th grade, like closer to the beginning of the school year, I was having a lot of harassing phone calls being made to me. A lot of girls would like call me and harass me. It was a group of like 4 or 5 girls, and they would tell me their names and everything. They would call and harass me just because of the guy I was dating, and bully me. And so after that point, y'all, that's a whole nother story time. After that point, I was really leery, you know, about answering phone calls, and I didn't want to answer phone calls. My mother was well aware of what these girls had been doing to me, so she always instructed me that when I got another phone call from a number I did not know, to give the phone to her. So this day in the spring, I get a phone call, and of course I run to my mother's room, which is like literally right next to mine, and I hand her the phone. And I say, it's them, thinking that it's the girls who had been prank calling me, talking crap, bullying me pretty much. So my mother answers the phone, and we put it on speaker so I can hear too, and it's a guy. And so she says, hello, you know, she's putting on a little fake voice. She's like, hello. He's like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, who is that? That's not my boyfriend. Like, that's not my guy friend who's taking me to prom. Like who is this? So then my mother's like, who is this? And he's like, blank blank. It's his nickname, the same nickname that he used for both his Instagram accounts, the same nickname that he gave me when he gave me his number. Like, it was the same guy. So once again, my mind is racing, time slows down for me, and I'm thinking, how did he get my number? And I know exactly how he got my number. Apparently he had made a third new account, but this time with the third account, he didn't follow me, he just lurked on my profile. And back then there was no such thing as like Instagram DMs and Instagram direct. If you wanted to talk to someone, you had to do it in the comments, but you had to be smart and go back and delete the comments. So under a lot of my pictures, I had given different people my number, just like if they're like, hey, what's up, what's your number? Hey, I want to get up with you, what's your number? I would give it to them. It would be under my photos. At this point, I didn't have a YouTube channel to worry about. I didn't have random followers following me. The people who followed me were friends and family, or people I had gotten to know online. So me putting my number under a picture was never a big concern or deal to me. And so that guy took advantage of that. So that's what I figured happened with that. So yeah, so basically the phone call. So my mom's like, and who are you calling for? And of course he says, I'm calling for Catherine. And then my mother was like, oh, I'm sorry, this is Michelle, you have the wrong number. And then she hung up. So the guy didn't call back, but I was just like, okay, all right. So I go through my photos, make sure my number is no longer under any of the photos. And I'm like, okay, hopefully this is done. Like, I feel like I've done everything that I could. And this is when I put my Instagram account on private as well. I was like, I've done everything that I could to kind of block this guy out of my social media life, so he can't get any more personal information out of me, so he can no longer harass me, none of that stuff. And I also ended up deleting that Instagram altogether, which is where the username Catherine Bedell, which is what I have today, was born, because the name King Cat was attached to me. I had people I would see out in public in Memphis and be like, hey, King Cat, because that name was just attached to me. So I just made sure I just got rid of that name completely. Catherine Bedell was born, and I started building my brand as Catherine Bedell. So long story short, another year passes. And at this point, I think I'm like, well, obviously in a year, I'm a senior in high school. But I think at this point I've actually graduated, and it's the summer before I go to college. So I haven't heard anything from the guy. I know that he has tried to add me several times, which I have denied all requests. He's tried to message me in other ways, but of course I would just ignore and just keep it pushing. I'm like, life keeps going on. Like, this is just a guy that just wants to talk to me. He just really likes me, and there is nothing that I can do about it. So we're coming home from church one Sunday, me, my mom, and my brother. And my mom usually cooks on Sundays, but for some reason on this Sunday she didn't cook, and we went out to dinner at Cracker Barrel. So as we're leaving the restaurant, you know, I'm just chilling, riding in the car, not thinking of anything, and I just kind of zone out, you know, for the next 30 minutes of just riding home, just zoning out, thinking about college, thinking about what's to come in my future. I'm just really happy and in a really good place. Me and Zarius had just started dating. I had fallen in love so quick. Like, life was just really good for me. So as we're approaching my neighborhood, something kind of snaps me out of that zone I was in, and I just start paying attention to the outside, what's going around me, my surroundings, everything that's going on outside. Everything that is going on outside of my mother's vehicle. So we make a turn into my neighborhood. So we're driving and we turn to my neighborhood. And as we're driving down that street, we just turn down in my neighborhood. We come to the first stop sign in my neighborhood, where from this point we have to decide whether we want to keep straight, make a left or right turn. In our case, we're making a right. So as we're approaching this stop sign inside of my neighborhood, I see a guy standing by the stop sign. I don't think anything of it when I see a guy standing by the stop sign. There's people in my neighborhood that walk all the time. There's just people always out. So seeing a person standing is not unusual, but then again, most people are walking when they're outside. So if this person just be standing by a stop sign, I felt that that was kind of unusual. As we're approaching the stop sign, I'm just naturally staring at this person. That's just what I do. When I'm in the car with people and I'm not driving, if the person is right here, I will stare them down until we pass, just like this. I know you guys have been guilty. Like, you see someone, you just kind of look until you can look no more. So I'm like he's like up here to me, and I'm sitting in the car and I'm staring, and as the car is moving forward, he's coming right here, and we stop at the stop sign. He's like right here, right outside the truck. If the truck was not in between us, he was literally like 2 or 3 feet from me. And y'all, believe it or not, it was the guy from the store from Instagram, from the 2 Instagram accounts, the guy that called me, it was the guy standing there. I still recognized him. I still remember who he was, standing there at the stop sign. As I'm looking at him, it's like I kind of get stuck. And my mom drives really slow, and she's just kind of, you know, taking her time, looking around, making sure no one's coming. And in my head, I'm like, why won't she drive? Why won't she drive? Why won't she drive? And as I'm looking at the guy and he's looking at me first with a straight face, as he's looking into the car to see who it is. And when he recognizes me, this is exactly what he does. Like, it was like the scariest grin. I'm not y'all or nothing. Like, it was the scariest thing in my life. So at this point, I'm like, mama, go, go, go. So she just zooms off. Like, my mother was like looking for no explanation. She just zoomed off. When she zoomed off, I kind of directed her to go like the back way to our house. Luckily for us, there's multiple ways to get to our home, but I just didn't want to go straight down the route that we usually go, just in case something crazy was going on. It was a setup or anything like that. So it was the guy. He had been standing there at the stop sign. I don't know who he was waiting for. I don't know if he was waiting for me. I don't know how he found out I lived in that neighborhood. Like I said, any of his friends who I can't remember at this point could have known me from a while ago. When I was in middle school, I used to have a lot of people in and out of my house just because my house is really close to my school. I think I live the closest to my school out of all of my classmates. And so I would always have people over. My mom would cook my friends dinner. But having people in and out of your house, and them having friends and letting people know where you live, like, it's always, you know, kind of up in the air. Like, you never know. And so I just didn't know how he knew. I don't know if it was just a coincidence that he was standing at that corner and I just so happened to be in that spot and we saw each other. Like, I don't know, but it just really freaked me out at this point. So of course I started back getting the random phone calls, and at this point in my life, I'm not afraid to answer the phone anymore because those girls who used to bully me are long gone. And at this point, I'm a YouTuber, so I get calls from people. I get calls from local people all the time about makeup and hair. So at this point in my life, I answer the phone, and of course it is the guy. So I'm finally fed up to the point where I'm in this really good relationship. I'm at a really good point in my life. I'm like, what do you want from me? Why do you keep bothering me? Then he starts telling me all these things about himself, all his accomplishments, basically trying to sell himself to me as the perfect guy to be with. And I explained to him multiple times that I have a boyfriend, that I've always had a boyfriend, that I'm just honestly not looking. I said it in the nicest way that I could, and he acted like he understood, but I don't ever think that he did. From time to time since then, it's been 2 years since I saw him at that stop sign. I've seen him multiple times in my neighborhood. He doesn't live in this neighborhood as far as I know. And as far as what he has told me, that time I finally decided to talk to him on the phone. I do see him walking occasionally, and if I see him, he doesn't know my car. And so if I'm wearing shades, I'll notice him, but I'll just keep looking straight ahead. I don't give it any extra attention. I just keep going. Now, about 2 days ago, which is why I said this situation is still ongoing, I was out with my boyfriend now, Zarius, and me and Zarius were looking for a Pokemon. So we were driving through the neighborhoods that are adjacent to mine. And as we're driving through, we're driving at a pretty slow pace, you know, because we're looking for Pokemon. As we're driving, there's a group of guys, and my boyfriend, I'm like, Zarius, don't hit them, because my boyfriend, like, he's a terrible driver. I'm like, Zarius, don't hit them. And the guys kind of like dispersed, going 2 different ways, kind of like part for us. And 2 guys come on my side, and about 5 guys go to Zarius' side. And so the 2 guys go on my side. I just, you know, naturally look up, me being nosy, trying to look, you know, at people as they pass by. It's the guy. And once again, he recognizes me, but this time when I see him, I instantly shift my focus like ahead. I'm like, no, I look straight ahead and I'm just focused on getting out of this neighborhood. As we're approaching the end of the neighborhood, I'm like, Zarius, I just saw the guy that's been stalking me. He's like, hold on, which guy? I explained it to him. He's like, oh, that's why he was standing to my car so hard. So Zarius totally saw, but he didn't pay any attention to it. He probably just thought it's some guys being nosy, trying to see who's in the car. But it was definitely because he knew who I was. I do walk my dog, my mother, in the evening. We do it for our personal exercise. We also do it so my dog can get out the house. And I put it on Snapchat, and I always put it on Snapchat. And I've been getting these messages on Snapchat for the past 2 months from a username I haven't recognized, and I just thought it was one of my subscribers who was showing some love. And so every time that I would walk my dog, I noticed I'd get these messages like, "You're outside right now? I'm gonna look out my window to see if I can see you." And I'm thinking like, maybe this is just one of my subscribers like messing with me. But then guys, it kind of clicked who it was. Like, it finally clicked who it was. Because the day after me and Zeus were Pokemon hunting, I got a message on Snapchat from that same weird username, and the person was like, "I know you saw me, why didn't you speak?" What? So as of now, that is where this story time ends. That is pretty much what has happened so far. Everyone that I have told this to really doesn't make a big deal out of it. I don't know if I'm overreacting about it, or if it's something I should seriously, you know, be concerned about, because it has gone on for so long. And I'm not the same person. I'm not the same girl he met in that store 4 years ago anyway. So I just think it's really weird to be so obsessed with the person for so long that you really never met before, and that you've never really gotten an opportunity to talk to. So definitely let me know your thoughts down below, guys. This was really a crazy one for me, and I really can't believe that I'm sharing it, and I hope this doesn't jeopardize my safety in any way. But if it does, and if I am killed for this or whatever, or I become the inspiration for a Criminal Minds episode, just know I did it in hopes of trying to help some of you all and to get a little bit of help for myself. So I hope you guys enjoyed this story time video. Definitely be on the lookout for more story times, because from now on, every Friday I will do a fun related video, whether it's a challenge or story time. Just anything that I think would be considered fun as far as YouTube goes. I will make a video based around that. So I will try to do story times at least 2 times a month, probably like maybe the 2nd and 4th Friday a month, or maybe the 1st and 3rd Friday. I really haven't decided yet, but just expect 2 a month. I hope that's enough for you guys, and that's pretty much it for this one. So I will see you all in my next video.